Alors, rebonjour tout le monde. Cette fois ça marche. Enfin, enfin. J'ai juste à fermer Twitch Studio et le relancer. Et ça a marché. Ça devait être juste un petit peu bug de là. N'empêche, il devrait régler ça, hein, parce que bon. euh, je- Le fait que ça soit. Juste ça marche pas comme ça, c'est légèrement chiant. Alors, les annonces, je sais, il y a Jingyuan, il y a Sparkle que je suis toujours pas trop sûr si je vais l'Apple ou pas parce que c'est un, ça va être un excellent soutien pour dans l'angle, et elle, mais à côté il y a Acheron que je veux absolument avoir. Bon, c'est pas, euh, c'est pas le sujet pour l'instant. Le live, il est sur la quête de Black Swan. Anyways, donc bonjour à YouTube, bonjour les bonjour ceux qui seront aussi sur la rediffusion Twitch. J'espère que vous passerez une bonne journée. Moi en tout cas pour l'instant c'est le matin et je suis légèrement malade. Je pense à s'entendre ma voix. Oula. Cher client, votre retour concernant votre expérience en jeu pour ça c'est comparé à l'événement, on s'en fout. C'est le premier jour après le compte. Et les scènes ayant été retirées. Oh. Ah d'accord. Moi je veux juste faire la quête. Vous êtes prêt à faire l'expérience des rêves de la dame cygne noire? Veuillez fermer les yeux et poser votre front contre la bulle onirique. Une seconde, faut que je regarde les sons. Je sais mes paramètres sont très les paramètres visuels sont franchement pas les mieux, mais c'est que mon PC pas ouf. Donc, oui, je suis prêt. Ce souvenir est de nature spéciale. Ne gâche pas l'expérience du pays des rêves des autres en divulguant la fin. Ok, madame. Ah, mais... Oh, il y a un test de signe noir. Cool. Bon, on va la mettre avec qui, sachant que j'ai ni Kafka, je sais pas, je sais même pas que Knifen. Simpo, il est pas build. Hmm. Au passage, euh, petite anecdote, j'ai un ami qui a eu signe noir assez facilement. Perso, je parle pas signe noir, même si de ce que j'ai pu voir, elle fait franchement mal. Mais moi, je veux Acheron. Mais du coup, j'ai un pote qui a eu signe noir, et donc, sachant qu'il est pas le meilleur pour build des persos, je lui ai directement conseillé des trucs. Il a dit d'accord pour les sets, les main stats que je lui ai dit de prendre, etc. Mais dès que j'ai parlé de teammate et que je lui ai dit, ah bah, vu que t'as pas Kafka, Go Knifen, ça serait la meilleure option. Il était en mode, ah non, hein, je vais pas build un 4 étoiles, moi, oh. J'étais en mode, mais mec, t'as cru que t'étais riche? T'as, t'as genre 4 ou 5 étoiles? Ça, tu avais fait une pause d'au moins 3 mois du jeu. Tu te prends pour qui? Donc, ouais. Je pense qu'on va faire juste en mode signe noir sauf DPS. Because Juan Mei. Et qui je pourrais mettre avec elle? Faudrait aussi que je termine de build ma Pella. Faites pas attention au set, hein. Vu que Pella c'est un bon perso. Et en plus, si je dis pas n'importe quoi, sans compter le personnage principal, ça a été ma première E6. À moins que ça soit dans le hang normal. Il est où dans le hang normal? T'es là, toi. Voilà, je l'ai 4 étoiles. Enfin, 4. Bah oui, c'est un 4 étoiles de base. Purée, je suis fatigué. Je l'ai E6. Pella aussi. Tingyun aussi, mais Tingyun c'est récent. J'ai ma March qui est presque 6. En fait, je suis tenté de faire une team Clara du coup, vu qu'en plus Clara j'ai son Lightcon. Je sais pas, même 2 fois son Lightcon. Non, je suis juste fou. J'ai qui d'autre aussi? Toi, t'es E4? Non. Oui, t'es E4. T'es E4. T'es E2, t'es E2. T'es E5. Mais elle est... Pourquoi les gens ils disent qu'on a ça E6 gratuitement? On l'a gratuitement, on l'a que jusqu'à E5. Ah oui, j'ai aussi Asta E6. C'était peut-être elle que j'ai eu E6 en premier, je sais plus. C'est entre Danhang, Asta et Pella, ma première E6. En tout cas, il y avait un instant où je jouais où littéralement j'avais constamment, je sais, couple des Pella en 4 étoiles. Et j'étais en mode, mais Pella, mais dégage, c'est bon, j'étais E6. Si les Eidolons ils continueraient au-delà de E6, je t'aurais au moins E15. Donc, ok, alors, le build qu'il nous donne, il a l'air pas mal, franchement. Elle a combien d'attaques? J'ai pas capté. Ouais. On pourrait y avoir plus d'attaques, hein. Mais sinon, ça a l'air d'être un bon build pour un truc qui donne. Bon, faudrait qu'on termine cette team. Sachant que j'ai pas de DPS vent. Enfin, je donne Hang, mais excuse-moi, je suis pas très envie d'utiliser. Après, c'est quoi ce numéro qui m'appelle? En plus, je crois que c'est pas la première fois que ça m'appelle. C'est pas grave. On va pas mettre dans le Hang. Donc, help. C'est quoi? Toi, on va t'appeler Daniel. On va pas mettre Daniel parce que skill point go près. Pourquoi pas Jing Yuan? Le Jing Yu Bro. Que j'ai E1. Parce que t'inquiète pas, ça va bien se passer. C'est une team qui ne va pas. Et bonjour la personne qui est sur le stream. J'espère que tu vas bien. Et que tu... Or if you're English, I hope you're having a good time.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Oula, ça commence fort. D'après moi, c'est évident. C'est un meurtre.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family.
Un meurtre? Ce mot nous est étranger. Le peuple de Penacony ne peut être blessé quand il est sous la protection attentive de la famille.
In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Mais du coup, est-ce que ça veut dire que Firefly est en vie? Ou pas? Est-ce qu'il y a une exception avec la bestiole de la mort qui tue je sais plus trop son nom, mais que tout le monde a envie de taper parce que voilà. Au passage, spoil pour l'histoire principale, parce que c'est une quête qui vient après l'histoire principale de Penacony. C'est ta faute, hein. Je suis désolé, hein. Sinon. Oh non, sérieux, c'est... Attends, Sempo, c'est toi ou c'est pas toi?
You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
Pas nécessairement. Même si le résultat factuel est Non, faut que je fasse une autre voix pour Sempo. Oh, pas nécessairement. Même si le résultat factuel est indolore, l'intention criminelle reste assez claire. Vous êtes venu ici pour boucler la scène du fait de la nature désagréable de ce cas, pas vrai?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties,
Vous n'avez pas tort. Même si personne n'est mort, être frappé à coups de marteau sans raison au beau milieu de la rue, ce n'est pas le genre de chose qui se produit à Penacony. C'est ce marteau qui était utilisé. Vous êtes les invités de la maison Vieux Chêne. Vous pouvez enquêter sur la scène de crime. J'attendrai là-bas. Est-ce que je suis Black Swan dans ce rêve?
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Alors... Bon... encore une fois, bonjour la personne qui est venue sur le stream. Est-ce que tu sais si ça impacte le jeu, la réponse que je donne, s'il te plaît? Ou n'as-tu jamais fait cette quête? Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Alright.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact.
Sure enough.
If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shippei the Harmony.
Avec un peu plus de temps, j'aurais même pu la convaincre que j'étais Shippei l'harmonie. Épuré.
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Bien, passons au sujet suivant. Parlons un peu de la personne qui t'accompagne si tu le veux bien. Et what the hell? What is that?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time.
Protectrice de la mémoire du jardin de la... Qu'est-ce que je viens de dire là? Protectrice de la mémoire du... Oui, non. Non, en fait, c'est vraiment ce qui est écrit. Protectrice de la mémoire du jardin de la mémoire. Non, en fait, c'est pas ma faute. Je t'observe depuis un certain temps. Tu as réussi à m'entreapercevoir dès ton arrivée à l'hôtel. Tu m'as suivi partout à l'intérieur du pays des rêves, dans les vitrines le long de la rue commerçante, dans le reflet de la mare du parc Kaiden. Et tout. Et même dans le reflet d'un verre de vin. partout.
Dear, do you have a crush
Ma
on me?
chère, aurais-tu un faible pour moi?
Seeing as you're so interested in me,
Bon, comme tu
let's play a
t'intéresses
little
autant à moi,
game.
jouons à un petit jeu.
I left a puzzle for you, Nero Timon. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk.
Je t'ai laissé une petite énigme près du centre commercial. Oti. Résous-la et prouve que tu es capable de me satisfaire. Si tu y arrives, alors on pourra parler.
Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
Ne me fais pas attendre, trésor. Avant que Penacony ne soit sans dessus-dessous, essaie de me trouver, de m'attraper et de m'arrêter.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul.
En fait, plus d'une protectrice de la mémoire est venue sur Penacony. Elle m'a prise pour quelqu'un d'autre. Il n'y a pas eu de casse. Donc
The
tout va bien.
address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Attends, je peux lire le truc. Nous sommes pile à l'adresse communiquée par le masque, mais qui aurait pu imaginer que, quand Mademoiselle Sparkle a mentionné un jeu, elle parlait d'un massacre gratuit dans les rues de Penacony. Mais c'est sympa ça. En plus, je me disais bien que le motif du marteau ressemblait à Sparkle. Ah, aussi, je suis un peu malade. Donc, vous pourrez peut-être m'entendre me moucher. Je suis désolé pour ça. Ah, non.
The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have
On va mieux
thought
entendre aussi le truc.
that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony.
Une provocation aussi directe suffit à embraser mon âme de compétitrice.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything.
Madame, pardonnez-moi, je ne savais rien de tout ça. Comme vous l'avez vu, j'ai passé un scanner du cerveau, en plus d'autres examens.
I'm just a friend,
Je
helping her
suis
deliver
juste
a
un
letter.
ami
That's
qui l'a
all.
aidé à livrer
I
une
never knew
lettre.
this was actually a
C'est
declaration
tout.
of warfare.
Je ne savais absolument
They say
pas
you
qu'en
shouldn't
réalité
kill the
c'était une
messenger.
déclaration de
So
guerre.
maybe you can
On
just,
dit qu'il ne faut pas
let me go.
tuer le messager.
You
Donc
all
vous
are the
pourriez
big shots
juste me
here.
laisser
I'm
partir.
really not on your
Vous
level.
voyez, vous êtes tous des pointures. Je ne suis pas à votre niveau.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Tu as l'air effrayé. Non, pas c'est vrai. Tu as l'air effrayé. Ne t'inquiète pas. Comme tu n'es pas impliqué, je ne te soupçonne de rien. Pourquoi ne pas faire une petite balade?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
Oh, j'ai l'impression que je ne pourrais pas échapper à ce rôle d'assistant détective. Bien. Tout va bien. Vraiment super. Voilà, franchement, je pense. Ah, là, le petit doublage, le dernier doublage, là, j'ai fait ça. Sur Simpo, mais. Bon, je pense super. Vous êtes qui, vous? Lorien. Pourquoi tu es petit? Pourquoi tu es si petit? On ami. Mais du coup, c'est le truc qui s'est vraiment passé.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Si vous avez d'autres questions, n'hésitez pas.
Who was the victim?
Qui était la victime?
An IPC employee named Shamari.
Un
Eyewitnesses
employé
reported
de la
that a tall,
CPI du
strong
nom de
man wearing a
Chamari.
large
Les
robe with
témoins
long
ont
sleeves walked
rapporté
right
qu'un
past
homme grand
Shamari
et
and
fort,
suddenly
portant
assaulted
une
him with
robe
a hammer.
ample aux manches longues, a croisé Chamari puis l'a soudainement attaqué avec un marteau.
Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the
Chamari s'est
dream.
effondré sur place et il est
Murderer
sorti du rêve.
vanished in a
Le
flash.
meurtrier a disparu en un instant.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
Mais donc Sempo était vraiment là pendant Peine Inconnue. Enfin, l'histoire principale. Enfin, la première quête de l'histoire principale. Vu qu'on n'a pas terminé. Et qu'ils sont pas sortis. Enfin, que le reste est toujours pas sorti.
Who are those two little guys?
Ces deux-là, qui sont-ils?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order.
Il semblerait que l'assaillant les a volés avant de les mener ici. Quelle audace. Quel manque de considération pour l'ordre
Those two have
public.
clammed up. I wonder if you
Ces
two
deux-là
could
ne
help pry open their
veulent rien
mouths.
dire. Je me demande si vous seriez capable de les faire
Looks
pareil.
like a puzzle that
On dirait
Sparkle
une
has
énigme
left
laissée
behind.
par Sparkle. On dirait une énigme un peu laissée par Sparkle.
Any leads yet?
Des pistes?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues
L'enquête
yet.
n'est
All we have to go by are the
qu'à
weapon used by the assailant
C'est
and the victim's
balbutiement.
ID.
Donc pour l'instant, les preuves sont minces. Tout ce que nous avons, c'est l'arme utilisée par l'assaillant et l'identité de la victime.
They didn't even take the weapon with them.
L'arme a été
Sounds like
abandonnée
they're
sur
trying to
place.
provoke us.
On dirait que quelqu'un
Despicable.
cherche à nous provoquer. C'est méprisable.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd
Où est
like to
Monsieur
meet him.
Chamari en ce moment? J'aimerais le rencontrer.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands
J'ai
the
peur
unpredictable
que
nature
ce
of
soit
dreams
impossible.
and went on to
Les vieux
vacation in another
chênes
dreamscape.
sont venus et l'ont calmé. Monsieur Chamari a affirmé comprendre la nature imprévisible des rêves. Et il est parti en vacances dans un autre pays des rêves.
Best not to bother him. Guest
Alors mieux vaut ne
experiences
pas le
always have to
déranger.
come first.
L'expérience des invités doivent toujours passer en premier. Mais si vous savez, la personne qui l'a tabassé, elle pourrait tabasser d'autres gens. Donc, c'est un peu hypocrite ce que vous disiez là. Les expériences des invités doivent toujours passer en premier. Parce que autant si on aurait Chamari avec nous, on pourrait avoir plus d'infos, ce qui nous permettrait de savoir le coupable qui pourrait déranger les expériences d'autres invités. Et si on obtient du coup le coupable, ben, comme ça, l'expérience des invités, elle est plus dérangée, tout va bien.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
J'ai peur que d'ici qu'on le trouve, Sparkle et les gens ont renvoyé la moitié de Penacony dans la
Looks like
réalité.
we'll have to play this little game
Dans
of
ce cas,
sparkles then.
il semble que nous devions participer au petit jeu de Sparkle. Bonjour.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Dame Signe Noire, vous êtes vrai. Je suis l'agent et lui, c'est l'huissier qui m'aide dans cette affaire.
Mr. Cold Feet, why'd you do
Moi, je suis pas de froid. Pourquoi avoir fait ça?
So they can talk after all.
Alors
Miss
comme
Black
ça, il
Swan,
part
they're heading straight for
comme si
you.
de noir. Ils vous ont dans le viseur.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you.
J'ai oublié la voix déjà que
I
j'ai fait.
understand,
Alors
Lady
c'était il y a
Black Swan
quelques
has
secondes.
quite the
Ne
intellect.
m'interrompez. Non,
I'm
non,
sure
ça
you'll be
c'était
able to get to the bottom of
Ne
this
m'interrompez
Sparkle
pas.
murder case.
Je ne m'adresse pas à vous. Ahem. D'après ce que je sais, l'homme de noir est extrêmement intelligent. Je ne doute pas que vous résoudrez l'affaire du meurtre de Sparkle.
The Sparkle murder case?
L'affaire
Wasn't the
du
victim
meurtre de
Shamari
Sparkle.
from the IPC?
La victime n'était pas Shamari de la
You're
sécurité.
wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
The fuck you're saying? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
What the hell you say?
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Oh, je suppose que Mademoiselle Sparkle s'est écrit un rôle dans cette pièce. Et que ça n'a aucun rapport avec le fait qu'on Master, ce serait son véritable nom de famille.
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Jamais entendu parler. On dirait un nom inventé. Sparkle non plus ne ressemble pas à un vrai nom.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body.
Mademoiselle Sparkle. Non, non, j'ai plus. Je sais encore plus. Mademoiselle Sparkle devait recevoir 3 vaillants guerriers à la résidence Master aujourd'hui. Et en arrivant, elle n'en trouvait que son corps.
Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a
Mademoiselle
hammer
Sparkle
and
a
died
été
of a
frappée à la
stab.
tête avec un marteau et elle est morte
Silence.
sur le coup. Un acte d'une violence inouïe.
My investigations discovered that the 3
Mon
warriors were
enquête
supposed to
m'a
escort supplies back
permis.
to their territory the day before.
Je sais encore moins là, je vois que j'ai
Unexpectedly
fait.
ambushed by the Annihilation Gang.
Mon enquête m'a permis de découvrir que les 3 guerriers étaient supposés livrer des provisions à destination de leur territoire la veille, mais qu'ils avaient été attaqués par surprise par le gang de l'annihilation. Ça risque pas d'être possible, ils sont morts.
They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their
Ils
supplies almost completely
s'en
raided.
sont
So
sortis
they all shared a motive for killing Miss
Ils s'en
Sparkle,
sont sortis
to
vivants de
escape
justesse.
punishment.
Et presque toutes leurs provisions ont été pillées. Ils avaient donc tous un motif pour tuer Mademoiselle Sparkle. Échapper à la punition, j'ai pas compris. Ah d'accord, j'ai compris.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Alors ils se sont associés pour la tuer.
Is the case closed?
Est-ce que cette affaire est close?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not.
Oh.
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on. Wait.
Non, il ne peut pas y avoir. Il ne peut y avoir qu'un meurtrier. S'il y a 3 meurtriers, le mystère n'est pas résolu. Attendez. Une minute.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Je vois la façon dont il l'a dit. Si vous n'arrivez pas à le trouver, laissez tomber.
Got it! Those
J'ai
three were
trop,
all fighting
j'ai
against each other
trouvé.
to be number
Ces
2.
trois-là
They couldn't
s'affrontaient pour
cooperate
être
either.
numéro 2.
So it must have been one
Ils
of them
n'auraient
acting
jamais
alone.
coopéré. Donc, un seul d'entre eux a agi.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those three...
Ce n'est pas très logique. Hein. Même s'ils étaient en mauvais termes, ces trois-là.
Please begin your investigation,
Mais,
Lady Black Swan.
veuillez lancer votre enquête dans le cinéma. La scène du crime fourmille d'indices qui vous aideront certainement à appréhender le véritable coupable.
I've got the case file right here.
Je
If you
perce
want
pas
to
trop
learn more
offensant
about the
les accents
suspects, talk to
jetés.
me.
J'ai le dossier de l'affaire ici. Si vous voulez en savoir plus sur les suspects, venez me parler. Oh, je suis trop fatigué pour
Lady
ça.
Black Swan,
Donne-moi des
allow me
combats.
to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright.
Jongli. Dame cinéma, permettez-moi de vous présenter les 3 suspects. Fu gauche. Alors je crois que 2 d'entre eux, il y a un jeu de mots avec gauche et droite. Parce que gauche et droit Arthur. Ah, en plus, je crois que c'est une blague avec droit Arthur. Et Jonction, je sais pas la blague. À part si c'est une ref à Jongli. Mais sinon, je sais pas.
Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be!
Gauche est un des principaux lieutenants de Mademoiselle Sparkle, dont la main droite a malheureusement été tranchée. Alors qu'il combattait courageusement le gang de l'annihilation, il apprend maintenant à écrire et tenir une fourchette de la main gauche. C'est particulièrement difficile. C'est ironique qu'il soit obligé d'utiliser la main gauche et qu'il s'appelle gauche.
And there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town.
Ouch. Ensuite, il y a Jonction. Ce type est un lâche qui s'est enfui dès que le groupe a repéré des bandits sur la route. Il a fini par heurter violemment une falaise et a fini défiguré. Quel dommage, c'était l'un des rares et faibles
Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so
Il avait perdu son bras
insatiably
gauche,
greedy
peut-être?
that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Attends, oui. Enfin, voici droiture. Ce type est si avide qu'il est même revenu sur place pour tenter de détourner le reste des provisions, après qu'il s'en soit sorti vivant de justesse. Et il a menti en attendant que le gang avait tout emporté. Gauche et Jongshan étaient si remontés qu'ils lui ont brisé les jambes. C'est très sympa ça.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
Attendez, vous m'avez perdu. Gauche, Do Arthur. Et qui s'occupe de trouver ces noms?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
Bon, ça ira, si j'ai bien compris. On a un, un bon guerrier, un gars loyal qui a perdu un bras. Il a combattu un courageux qui a perdu son bras droit. Un lâche qui a été défiguré. Et un connard qui s'est fait briser les jambes par les deux autres. Attends.
Got it. But it sounds like Mr. Assistant Detective.
Lifton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants.
Attends, est-ce qu'il y a un truc si je l'ai fait répéter en boucle?
He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with it. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the... That's all the intel we have on...
On peut pas les faire répéter en boucle.
Look, an ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Ba-da-da. Est-ce que je peux activer le envoi flamme? Je vais voir s'il y a des trucs.
Moly! This hammer is super heavy. This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case.
Bah, ça paraît évident.
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
Bah oui, c'est techniquement ce qu'il a dit.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target.
Ah, c'est légèrement de l'exposition pour dire que bah non, ils gardent pas les trucs d'avant. Pour dire que comment il s'appelait déjà? Hugoche n'est pas le coupable. Enfin, dans le petit jeu de...
Please begin your investigation. Have you got any more questions? Lifton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his...
Zhongshan, ça a l'air d'être le plus
This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they
Quand même,
narrowly
se faire
escaped with their
briser les
lives.
jambes, ça risque d'être compliqué de défoncer quelqu'un avec un grand marteau quand t'es dans une chaise roulante. Donc je parie
Is
que
that
ce
all the
soit le
evidence?
prochain.
How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on?
Ah bonjour Sparkle. Désolé encore une fois. Donc,
Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
tu m'as fait peur. Quand est-ce que tu es arrivé?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle.
Les deux preuves que tu as trouvées sont liées à la sur Shaman. Mademoiselle Sparkle ne les a pas laissées là sans raison. Ce sont des indices pour l'énigme.
But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Blablabla.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No, no. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
J'en suis pas sûr. Hein.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
C'est très aimable de sa part, je trouve.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way.
Il semblerait que Mademoiselle Sparkle ait un peu de piment et ajoute un peu de piment à l'enquête. Acceptons donc sa proposition. Monsieur l'assistant détective, par ici. Mais c'était sûr en fait. Mais... Et c'est parti.
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it.
N'abuse pas sur le bouton.
Destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke. Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes it,
J'en suis pas sûr que ça marche comme ça.
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
Mec, tu fais partie de... des Masked Fool aussi. Hein. Si j'ouvre l'inventaire. Allez hop. Alors toi. You are about done.
This
Donne-moi ça.
notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
Avant d'empêcher tout criminel de nuire à notre estime, Cher Sparkle, la résidence doit désormais respecter les règles suivantes. Tout serviteur ou visiteur doit utiliser le système de reconnaissance faciale pour entrer et sortir de la résidence de Madame Sparkle. Toute personne non approuvée par le système de reconnaissance faciale sera immédiatement éliminée. Ces règles s'appliquent indéfiniment.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
Attends, comment ça?
This is so her style, isn't it?
Comment ça, elle est tombée en panne? Il n'est pas alors qu'il dit qu'elle s'est tombée en panne, qui suis baragouine. Ah oui, on peut le faire. Bonjour Pom Pom, qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring.
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
That surprises me from you, Sample.
Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there, Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right, I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so eliminate...
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? So, I remember this one best.
Attends. Piège d'identité. Attends, toi déjà Hugo, tu vas dégager.
So, who Lefton?
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
So, who remember Zhongshan's face?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the council.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues.
The murderer is right.
Réponse correcte.
As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Au passage, pourquoi signe noir la couleur dominante de tes habits n'est absolument pas noire. C'est plutôt bleu, violet, voilà.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
You are one too.
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to...
Allez. Tu marches? Est-ce que tu marches? Tu marches pas. Il n'y a toujours pas eu de combat là.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
What do you mean by that?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Explosion. Kaboom. J'ai jamais vu ce mob.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
There's...
Ah, merde.
Detective Black Swan and Detective Sempo, you finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Sempo, on a eu assez.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Oui.
Of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Encore.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death.
Oh no.
There were 3 suspects on the scene.
Encore.
Namely, a perpetual
Ah, les
shopkeeper
mêmes.
named Brett, a Foxian gambler named Zhang Shan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Est-ce que ces trois sont des personnes qu'il connaît vraiment?
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you will be able to cut through the hogwash and... Once again, let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward.
First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as... Next up, you have the merchant...
Alors, il avait un fait dans la ceinture de Sparkle. Bon, mais il peut pas l'étrangler, voilà, ça c'est fait.
Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there was the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. He harbored a grudge against her.
En même temps, Do, tu fais un pari en mettant ton héritage en... Do, tu paries ton héritage déjà.
That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
Sorry to interrupt your dreamscape experience, Sir Trailblazer. That segment doesn't seem to be in this dream.
Tu fais chier, Edouard.
But don't worry. I'll replay the records for you.
First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is off. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there was the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
Ah, il a l'air... T'as bien aimé les codenames.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
N'empêche, le setup
And
qu'elle...
there's the tie.
La
That
cravate.
skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master Lefton." Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
That's not how you use the word imperial. So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
C'est vrai. Je peux pas monter. Je suis petit. Je suis el potito petite. El potito el potite. Non, el potito petite. Voilà, parfait.
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
Wow.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Papashi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary.
Miss Mulligan. Évasion éclair.
What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Bonne question.
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Pouah. Oh! Magique. Ah, c'est magique. Somebody save me from this cringe joke. I didn't understand the joke in the first place.
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Don't understand.
What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine.
Hmm. Il n'y a pas de grand... Il n'y a pas beaucoup d'indices qui permettent d'éliminer quoi que ce soit. Ah merde. Ah le con. On peut descendre. Mais il y avait un truc ici. Je suis stupide. Speedrun.
This clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
Let's go. Ça c'est facile.
Oh, there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. Zhongshan family heirloom. That should be it. Let's head out.
Alors, ce n'est pas aussi évident, je pense, parce que... Bon,
I
déjà...
have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Les trois sont plus... sont des coupables. Les trois sont très suspects. Hein.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's...
Sheriff.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. Was that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
Ah.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case? Good. Then let us appreciate...
Here's the Pentacounty News. Once again, another movie piece has passed golden hour by. And that concludes...
This guy, Zhongshan, is a cart...
Become part of the family. Raise a glass and enjoy feast fit for a king.
Hmm.
It doesn't. Looks like Miss Sparkle. This ring is a piece of evidence.
That's right! What would a penniless wretch of a... He'd stolen like... Who could have... What a tragedy!
Is something...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton.
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the...
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter! How did I fail to realize this for...
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. What a...
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How...
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
I
I
knew it.
take it so seriously. Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience. Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case,
Oh non, encore une.
next.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever?
Hmm.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Here's the Pentagon.
Comme il.
Detective Black Swan.
Why, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I thought there was an answer.
Don't go too far. What do you mean by...
Nothing.
Don't go too far. What do you mean by...
This ring is a...
That's right. Zhongshan. What? Right as a pipette.
This stool.
That's right. Miss Sparkle taken advantage. Miss Sparkle. He then... What a trud. This guy, Zhongshan.
This ring is a...
That's right. What would have he'd stolen? Who could have... What a trud. Lefton is a wealthy...
This tie is a...
That's right. This time of Lefton's... What a trud.
Ok, c'est nul.
I'd rather not.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective.
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside.
As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside. The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time. Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever. Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me?
Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where...
No cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective. You seem to be getting anxious.
Donc, est-ce qu'en fait c'est un Simpo qui aide Sparkle, ou c'est juste encore une fois pour la 150e fois Sparkle déguisé en Simpo?
No, it's... This locked room murder case is pretty fun.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up! Miss Sparkle has one... Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
What the fuck? Et du coup, est-ce que je peux... Non. Je pense pas que ça soit Black Swan.
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Non. Non,
There's
c'était...
no weird, sweet dreams truth, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her.
Hey, dear memo keeper, I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then, this is the final question. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs
Oh,
in the
c'est une
afternoon,
classique!
and
À
3
moins que
legs
tu me
at
trolles et
night?
que c'est autre... ça ne soit pas...
No murder case this time around.
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear, give me your answer then.
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is...
Wah, wah. The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong.
I didn't. You.
There's more to life.
You son of a.
Eternal.
Ouch.
Ill fate descends.
Here, there's thunder.
It's time for
Show no
damage.
mercy.
I'm gonna hold everyone back and
Get them. These are devils. I'll crush them all.
Some will. Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Et voilà, ça dégage.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere. Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
What?
Miss, you killed Sparkle.
Nah. This is a joke again. Why is there money
How is this
everywhere?
possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her.
What the what are you trying to do?
Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree,
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle, who are you talking to?
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you?
This? Don't jump to conclusions. If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, did
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer.
Et vu que Sampo est l'assistant détective de Black Swan en ce moment, oh, je comprends.
At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me, that the murderer is the assistant detective, which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
Pourquoi elle a l'air actuellement réellement surprise?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
Donc tu es le...
Such a pity.
Donc c'est le vrai
We were
Sampo.
so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body. Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Elle a pas l'air très contente de tout ça.
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all three of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other. Seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Non, Mimi, touche pas ça. Non. Non, Mimi. Touche pas ça. Pas bien.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. You're too late to take the stage. You're behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Putain, c'est des combos de mastermind, de retournement de situation, de wow. Que quelqu'un me dise combien il y a eu de retournements de situation dans cette quête pour l'instant.
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch 2 fish with 1 cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
I mean, she's in a dream and she's a memo keeper. Why can't she just leave? She can just... God.
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
Oh.
This is
Ah.
dog, right?
Elle a fait... Allez, hop. Plus de souvenirs. Ça dégage. Dégagez-moi d'ici. Partez. Elle les a confus.
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
Are you looking at me? You're looking at me. You're fucking looking at me. And I like this. Et c'est terminé. Je pense, j'espère, parce que c'était long. Mais du coup, est-ce que c'était à la fois la quête de... Est-ce qu'ils ont fait cette combo quête? Est-ce que c'était la quête de 2 personnes en même temps? C'est la fin de la bulle l'onirique de Dame Signe Noir. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just things, and our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality. Sweet dreams.
Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Ça. Bon, ben au moins, là...
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Should you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements?
Simple won't like this.
Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me.
Putain, la différence de ta... Ah, ça screen. En même temps, Sempo, il est pas genre... C'est pas le genre le perso masculin le plus con.
But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6. Am I right?
Oh fuck, I don't like where this is going.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
Ok, je suis en train d'adorer Sempo.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Bien sûr, et il y a Giovanni en plus. Ah, ça m'étonne pas. En plus, il lui avait parlé dans Treven.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously.
Donc pour l'instant, on connaît que trois... on connaît trois fous masqués. On connaît du coup Sparkle, Giovanni et Sempo. Sempo qui probablement... comment ça s'appelle déjà?
Why so serious?
Why am I waking up? Or I'm going back to the dream? Who is that? C'est une noire, pas. Quoi de neuf? La situation va se compliquer pour être mieux rendre ça. Bien sûr. Sûr, je vais t'accompagner. What? Le problème, c'est que je me rappelle pas. Non, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Est-ce que ça change quelque chose? Donne là. Fuck. Oh, pas lui. Bon, anyways. C'est terminé. J'espère que vous avez passé un bon moment. Et au revoir.